This isn't a live stream. Cody, what are we doing?
We today are going to be doing our first podcast live on Twitch, and then we're going to upload it to iTunes.
And
We
we're going to see how it goes, is what they say, right? That's what we say.
we'll
See what happens.
do it live.
Do it live.
It's very exciting.
Very, very exciting. So what I've got here is I'm just looping some replay of a previous match. And we're going to do our intro in a second and all that stuff, but we're just kind of getting set up here. We've got our show notes, and we've got each other, and that's really what matters.
That is what matters. FaceTiming as we do it. This will be a little bit different.
Yeah.
There are going to be a little bumps in the road, but we're hoping that this is just going to kind of work itself out. And that way, weekly, we can do it live and upload our podcast right onto iTunes. And it'll be the same as usual with a little more winging
Right.
of the whole thing.
Right. I think this will cut out some of that editing time and production time. Just make it so we can roll right into our live stream. And it also gives us another night of, maybe even another drop night, because it's another night we're not recording. So it works out pretty well.
I would agree with that statement. I think that where we're trying to go with all of it is that we can figure out exactly what works best for us and then move ahead with that so that we can focus heavily on our iTunes, Google Play, Tuner, Stitch and stuff, and still be able to stream when we want to stream and kind of free up our weeks a little bit more so we can add more content as we go and have a little bit more time to work on the things that we want to work on.
Absolutely. I think we can start it off. What do you think?
I feel like that'll be cool. Cool by me.
All right. This episode is brought to you by the power of the internet. It's more than just a series of tubes.
This is Hot Drop, where we bring you premier PUBG analysis and drops measured in Fahrenheit. I'm Cody.
I'm Dano.
Now let's get into it. All right, so welcome to everybody. This is Hot Drop Podcast, the live stream. We are going to go through today and talk about a handful of things that relate to PUBG. There's going to be some saltiness in here. There's going to be some updates in terms of game development in here, but not the game that you think of. Dano, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think we'll start off by saying a big hearty thank you to everyone who has watched us, supported us, written us emails, Twitter, all that stuff. We are now Twitch affiliates, which is super cool. And it's something that we've said for a while is we're more than just a podcast. We're building something on Twitch where it's an interactive experience where you can trigger events in game that will, cause us to, complete challenges and also just have a lot of fun on the way. We can interact with you guys and just bring you a really cool experience that you might not have from most streamers out there. So we are Twitch affiliates as of a couple days ago. And what we're doing again is this cool challenge system. So if you guys want to pop in, check it out. We are live every Thursday and Sunday. We're live right now. Thursday and Sunday from 8 o'clock until 11 o'clock p.m. So we're doing something a little different, and I hope you guys are digging it too.
Yeah. So let's kind of jump right in here and ask ourselves, where are the updates, Daniel?
Where are the updates at?
We haven't seen a good update in how long? Since the release of 1.0? I mean, since then, there's been a lot of little bug fixes, but we've seen nothing on PC or Xbox this week. We had 2 patches for each over the last 2 weeks. Where is it? What's happening with this game? Because what I've noticed is that there are a ton of bugs. There have been leaderboard issues, connection issues, matchmaking issues, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. And every time they say they're fixing something, it breaks more.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because I can go over this a whole bunch of times, and I've said it a whole bunch of times, but it's like 1.0 happened, and it was just another version. 1.0 was just a name for a build, and it was a build that we've already been playing for weeks prior to. It wasn't this revolutionary update that we thought it was going to be, where we would have a whole bunch of optimization, we'd have bug fixes galore, we got that new map. We did get the new map, and we did get some new features, but it wasn't anything that we hadn't seen before if you had been playing the test server. So, a couple patches have happened. We've got PC updates all the way up to number 5 now, I think it was, is the last PC patch.
Yep. And
but
Xbox
really,
up to 8.
Nothing has really come from that. We've gotten a couple features, but we haven't really gotten good meaty updates. And by meaty, I'm just talking about optimization. I'm talking about anti-cheat. They say they're working on anti-cheat, but hackers are as bad as they've ever been.
And we talked about this before, they're not as transparent as they could be. I understand that talking about hackers and things like that is a very difficult thing to do. But when we want to see something working and they're just saying, yeah, we're taking care of it, look at all the people we banned, and then I jump into a game and there's an aimbot in there and people are just running around the map 2 times the speed they should be, I go, okay, did that really do anything, or are you just trying to appease us by saying how many accounts you've banned when we know these people have bought more copies and these people are logged back on?
Yeah. And we talked about the numbers, I think, last week. It was 1 million accounts banned in January alone. Staggering numbers of bans. And I think with that, we've seen some drop off as far as player counts. Player counts are decreasing just a little bit. I do have some numbers that I wanted to mention. Cody, even himself, you mentioned that you see about 88 people or so per match. And that's kind of an indicator of maybe people dropping out of the match before the match starts, but it also could be a symptom of not having enough people to fill a server. I don't think it's the latter in this case, but I do see the player counts declining, and we haven't hit 3 million concurrent in February. I think that's something to note. We have an all-time peak of 3.2 million players, but we just haven't hit that all-time peak level since then, and that was back in January, I believe. But since February 1st, we have not hit 3 million. So right
Even
now,
so, I mean,
it's
Dr.
1.6.
Dr. Disrespect came back.
Yep.
I've seen him play PUBG twice this week. He's been playing H1Z1. He's been playing Fortnite. It's when people are setting precedents like that, and I get it. He's a personality. He's doing things the way he wants to do, and he'll play whatever he wants to play. People aren't going to be wanting to play those games if there are 36,000 people watching him play Fortnite or 36,000 people watching him play H1Z1 of all games. Mm-hmm. You're just not going to have the numbers there. And at that point, I think that when it comes down to somebody who is a prominent influence on the video gaming community, and they go, oh yeah, but why aren't you playing PUBG? And he goes, it's janky, it's busted, it's a crap game. And they go, yeah, I've kind of just been waiting for somebody to tell me essentially what to do.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are going to jump over and play that game. And I can see why at this point. Not that I will ever be playing Fortnite, but I don't want to see this game go away just because they're not cranking out content. I just want more meaningful content, even if it's a small patch, to actually fix some stuff. If you look at this bug list, they have scheduled to be fixed are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and under investigation fix in progress is 30 bullet points long.
And these are things that they are investigating but haven't resolved. Yeah.
There are currently, as of February 9th, when they last updated this list, there are 2 resolved issues. Vehicles are not visible sometimes, and Erangel bridges will become visible when you move closer, and the character is moved to a random location when switching seats inside a vehicle. That's it.
It's pretty bad. And people who watch Dr. Disrespect and watch other streamers that are influencers, they pick up on the streamers' attitudes, and they start to believe that themselves. And in this case, I think it's pretty valid to say, what has Bluehole done recently? We haven't gotten a roadmap. We don't know what they're working on as far as features. And we see this giant list of bugs that keeps growing and growing. And you've got to think, okay, where's the updates?
when is it going to come? Because one's going to show up, but is it going to be another patch? Is patch number 6 going to be, oh, hey, we fixed the overturning motorcycles and we've added more trees to this section of the map.
And we've worked on anti-cheat. Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, because that's what it's honestly been from patch 1 to patch 5. So it's a little disheartening, you get a little bit upset about it, I think. I mean, personally, I'm kind of bummed that there hasn't been as much work on the game as I thought there would have been at this point. You think back to when I told you when you were buying your computer parts to upgrade, I was like, your 1050 Ti is going to be a good card, but once this game is like 6 months from now, it's going to be totally different as far as optimization, and it's going to run so much better. There's going to be all these features, and we started talking about the future of the game and all that stuff. But like, that was like 4 months ago, right?
No, dude, that was
3-4 months ago.
It was 6 months ago.
Was it 6 months ago? Yeah. So it's like, it's the same game since you started. Have you noticed like any major differences in this game since you started playing?
My computer parts got better so I can play it more frequently. The game itself isn't optimized. It's not. Yeah. It's about the computer that you have that's going to make the game work a little bit better. But even people like you or Zach Bar who have better computers still go, yeah, it kind of looks nicer, but you still play it on lower settings. He plays it on ultra, but that doesn't fix the bugs in the game.
Yeah.
It just makes it look like they're prettier bugs.
Polish that turd. Yep.
Yeah. So you have this theory about why there are no updates lately and what's going on. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Let's hit the news. So
let's speculate. Let's get
speculate.
Deep.
Yeah. All right. Let's go real deep into the PUBG. PUBG universe. I don't know. I was gonna say something else. Family stream. I think, maybe you think too, since I've told you. I don't know.
People think.
There's people out there who think.
Okay, Rita Skeeter.
And some of them think that the reason PUBG has not gotten a lot of updates on the PC side and on the Xbox side is because they're working and actively promoting 2, not 1, but 2 PUBG games for their mobile devices.
What does this mean, Daniel?
2 games were released as of, I believe, February 11th. Yes. I think it could have been a few days before that, but right around February 11th, 2 PUBG games came out only in China. A game called PUBG Army Attack and PUBG Exhilarating Battlefield are now available in China. A great tagline. Both of them together have 75 million players pre-registered to play these titles. Contrast that to the 30-something million copies sold for PC. Yeah. There is a massive, massive, massive market for mobile games, especially in China. Exact download numbers are not out yet, but both games are clocking in at number 1 and number 2 on the download charts over there in China. So I don't think that Bluehole/PUBG Corp are actively developing these things because they did get some different companies to work on them. We've got Timmy Studio is focusing on the Army Attack, and the Exhilarating Battlefield is being developed by Quantum and Lightspeed Studios. So it's not PUBG Corp specifically, but of course they're involved in this. They're involved in the branding and the marketing and the release and actively working on the relationship with these studios to build these games under their brand. So there's definitely some efforts, in play here, some time spent by PUBG looking at these mobile games, and perhaps some of the developers are being tasked with, converting some of the assets to be, being able to be used on a mobile platform. I don't know the details behind that kind of stuff, but I've got to assume that because they're working on not 1, but 2 different games, they're getting stretched a little more thin than they used to be if they're just focusing only on PC or only on Xbox.
So what happens, in your opinion, if they find that they've got a ridiculous amount of downloads for these 2 games and you're finding player counts slowly dropping, whether it's PC now or Xbox later? Do they stop developing these pieces? Do they let it die on its own? Does it become an H1Z1? Does it thrive again and they find a way to appease everybody and get out a 2.0? What happens?
I think they can coexist. I think that once these games are out and stable, they're just going to run themselves. Like there's not going to be a whole lot of active development going to need to be done on these things, because it's just a matter of the growing pains, getting up to speed, getting these things launched, getting full releases out. And I think you're going to lose some players in the meantime. You're going to drop numbers across the board in Xbox and PC probably. But overall, I mean, I think it's the same brand. It's mostly the same game. And I think they can coexist.
I would hope that they would, because these games do look pretty awesome.
They do. They did a really good job with the trailers.
People in chat also think that they're pretty sweet. I would play the hell out of it if, I'd have to get a newer phone, I think, but I would still play this and probably devote a lot more time than I probably should to playing it. What I would hope is that they see some sort of rejuvenation and like, oh, these games are incredibly successful. Why don't we give people what they want on PC and Xbox right now? I mean, Xbox doesn't even have Miramar.
Right.
It's only got Erangel. They're nerfing things because the meta is different anyway. So why not give everybody something new and something cool to hold on to for a little while they fix whatever bugs are happening? Because that's what kept us coming back over and over and over again, is they were pumping out content there for like 3 months straight.
Yep.
And they ended it with 1.0, and now it has just fizzled out to nothing.
Yep. And we can contrast this with Fortnite, because Fortnite has been absolutely crushing it in the updates front. They've been actively communicating with their players. They've been almost every single week, it looks like they're releasing new content or releasing updates about what's to come. One article I wanted to highlight, and not to stray too far from these mobile games, because I do want to come back to this, but one thing I wanted to say about Fortnite is that they put out this article, and this was the coolest thing ever, because I've never seen anything like this from PUBG. It came out on February 8th, and the title of the article is Postmortem of Service Outage at 3.4 million concurrent players. So they have this article that's like, many pages long, talking about what happened from a technical level, why their servers went down when they hit 3.4 million max concurrent users. And they talk about some very, very in-depth topics here, things that are way over my head. But just the fact that they're going out of their way to be this transparent about, this is what happened, this is how we're going to fix it, and if you want to help, we're actually hiring people to look at this stuff. And I've never seen anything like this from PUBG. Never any of this kind of transparency.
No. And at this point, it seems like they're closing that door a little bit more and a little bit more on transparency. Like, hey, trust us, we're working on it. Wink, nod, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would much rather go like, hey, give me a freaking bone here. Like, what are you doing? Because so far, I'm 2 weeks away from my last salty episode, and now we're right back at it again.
Yeah.
I'm still going to play for 3 hours tonight. Boy, am I angry about it.
And yeah, I mean, people have really short attention spans, and myself included. If you think 2 weeks, not that much time in the grand scheme, but when you're devoting so many hours into playing, and especially streamers, because they're playing it all day long, they're going to get really annoyed by those little bugs and the lack of communication. And that's just going to really make you think it's probably worse than it is. But in our case, yeah, I think we're right to be a little bit salty, a little bit annoyed by the fact that we haven't gotten anything recently.
Yeah. And to be fair, our priorities are on playing this game mostly on PC. We have a lot of you Xbox players out there, which we really, really appreciate. But for Dan and I mean, Dan now has an Xbox, but we mainly play this on PC. And so, like, we want more content and development for this game, whereas the CEO of PUBG Corp just recently said, we want to take part in diverse industries, including esports, movies, drama, cartoons, animation, and more. They've even received calls from Hollywood and Netflix, and they want to build a brand, like I would assume similar to like Harry Potter and Star Wars and all that, where you have franchises all over in different marketing and toys and all this stuff. But I think that's too early for all of this. Like, you're jumping the gun. Focus on putting out a polished product, and then move on to action figures and Netflix shows and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the viewers are already cashing in on the ability to even look at the trailer. People are doing this stuff all the time already. Like, capitalize on that when the time is right, not now when everybody's creating their own content for it.
Yeah. absolutely. You just totally nailed it. That's what I wanted to come back to. They're trying to build this massive conglomerate, this industry of PUBG Corp, and it's just too soon, man. You just put out something that you can safely say that you are satisfied with, that is the best it can be, and then talk about movie license deals. All right, that kind of peeved me a little bit. It rubbed me the wrong way when I read that.
Don't like it.
Yep, they call it they see the game as being a universal media franchise.
Yeah, get on George Lucas's level, bro.
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't know.
Let's just jump into our other salty business, I guess, because I don't want to keep running this into the ground. When we play this game, we want to go in and at least not... If we're running into hackers, that sucks. But then if we're not running into hackers, I feel like we're running into bugs.
Yeah.
How often do we find cars that are spawned like halfway into the ground, or like loot that you can't see unless you tab over it? And
every
things
game.
Like that.
Yeah.
So at what point is it going to be actually recognized and addressed, and not in a hey, we're working on it kind of way?
Yeah. I hope soon. And I think I've got a little bit of hope back because the community manager on Twitter recently posted, as of a couple days ago, Valentine's Day, yesterday, she posted that they have a roadmap to share with us soon, TM. Which also, as much as that gave me a little bit of hope, it also pissed me off a little bit because I hate announcements that are made for announcements. Like, if you have something to show, just show us. Don't tell us you're working on it. Don't tell us, soon we'll be able to share this with you. Just share it with us. Just wait a day. Here. Like, wait a day and then share it when you have something to say.
Yep. I'm already here. I'm already watching. Don't piss me off by telling me you have something that I don't have.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what's terrible about the marketing of this game at the moment. Like, they don't give us anything. They don't give us anything. Here's this crappy update. It's going to take 2 days of broken servers to get it to play. But don't worry. We have a roadmap to show you when we're ready with the roadmap.
Soon. Very soon.
Can't show you.
But we can't show you. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Go enjoy your reload times on that shotgun, buddy.
Ducky in chat says the roadmap is just a map of roads.
In the maps.
In the maps. Yeah. I mean, they're gonna turn it around. I do have faith. I'm not totally losing faith in this game. A lot of games do the same thing. It's no surprise to me. I've been around the block a few times. I know how they operate. And there's always that, coming soon, we'll have this for you. Like, just hang in there and it'll be soon, and just keep holding on. It's going to be great in the future. Everything's going to be rosy. And they might get there and they might not, but this is just typical discourse, I feel, as far as game development goes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's hope that they get on board and maybe this week they come out with a bigger patch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much the biggest thing. Like, just give us some content, and that will have us ignore the bugs for a little while.
Right.
I think that's the thing. You get that content out there and people will ignore the problems because they will be distracted by the exciting new features.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we have someone in chat, Downward Spiral, saying he loves the game, and I love the game too. He's on Xbox. He says he wishes his interface was a little bit better. And I actually got an Xbox this week, and I want to do a whole episode on that. I took notes as I was playing. I was like, super nerdy with it. I have so many talking points I want to share. But yeah, no, I do love the game, and we both love the game. I can speak for you, right, and say that we love this game.
I mean, I'm salty as hell right now. I'm revved up. I'm gonna drink some more of my water to cool myself down.
You need some electrolytes, man.
But it's what plants crave. But I love the game. I mean, I dedicate hours and hours and hours of my week to playing it and working on a podcast for it. So I clearly do love it. I'm just so angry right now.
Yeah. It gets frustrating when you don't see any movement and you're just being told, just wait and hang in there. But we're just impatient, I think.
My other favorite game franchise at this point is always Assassin's Creed, and like they're cranking out content week after week after week. There was like, here's new skins, here's new weapons, here's new storylines, and this is like, yeah, you remember that one time where you can't see bridges until you're really close to them? We're working on it.
Yeah, we've identified the problem but haven't fixed it yet.
Enough of you have complained that we have put it on our to-do list.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's try to move on. Let's try to get a little pepper in here, as you would say.
Get a little pep. Salt and peppers here. Salt and peppers here.
What do we got, man?
Bringing it back. So let's talk about something here. We had the return of Dr. Disrespect. What do you think that has done for this game now that he is back?
I think it's nothing but good things, honestly. We tuned in when he went live for the first time since his break. He broke. He braked and then he broke. It was nuts. I've never seen a single person bring down Twitch. We were all refreshing the page constantly to see when he came up. And he came back and he was pretty much the same person. I mean, he changed a few things around. He seems to reference his family a lot more. He seems to want them to be actively involved in what he's doing, which is cool to see. Good for him if he's, mended his situation over there. But yeah, no, he pulled, I think at his peak, about 375,000 people watching just him, which is absolutely insane. That's insane. That's like better than some tournament numbers that I've seen.
What's crazy is if you look at it right now, if you go to browse on this right now, there are only 58,000 people watching the game, and when he was on, had 40,000 of those.
It's insane.
Just like 20 minutes ago. So like everybody on Twitch at that point was watching him. I bet you if it worked and you could have gone to browse, nobody would have been watching anybody else on any channel for anything other than maybe the IRL people who probably were watching him
and commenting on it
while they were streaming.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Crazy. But as much as I think it does a really great service to the game, it gets some more exposure. It gets people talking about it. And it didn't help that it didn't help that he had an absolute amazing first game. Like he was quick scoping people and he had like 8 kills and absolutely crushed it. Won his first solo game back. So that really helped. But at the same time, with his personality and with some people not always catching that if he's serious or just being satirical, there are times when he says things that are hot takes against the game, we'll say. He says some things that like this game is janky, this is broken. It's usually coming from a place of truth, I would say. But at the same time, he has a sort of personality where people can jump right on that and be like, oh yeah, I agree with everything Dr. Disrespect says, and it is a broken game, and I hate the game now because he said that he hates it, and now I hate it too. And you mentioned this before. I think influencers, especially him, who has this, this personality of disrespect. People can jump on that. Yeah, PhD. He studied 4 years. 6 years. 7 years. I don't even know how long PhDs are. But he studied a long time, all right? And he got to where he is, and he deserves his opinions. He actually worked in the game industry for a long time. He worked on the Call of Duty franchise. So he usually has some pretty valid thoughts, but sometimes people can jump on what he says and immediately believe it, even though it's not entirely true.
Right.
So it could be negative for the game sometimes.
I mean, today I saw him play Fortnite and H1Z1. I'm not sure in the 8 hours or whatever he streamed that he actually played PUBG at any moment today. I don't know if any of you watched it, but I haven't seen him play a lot this week, and maybe that's a frustration for him that it's just not doing well or whatnot. But I know he had complaints about H1Z1 because he stopped playing it because every time he would go in, he would be stream sniped, and he was still playing it today. So
right,
maybe that's saying a little bit of something right now of like, hey, come on, PUBG, let's do something here.
Right.
Let's figure something out.
Yeah. I think overall, nothing but good things, though. Nothing but good things can come from him being back. I would like to see some of the love being spread around to other streamers, but it's like he's that celebrity that some games can definitely benefit from. If you've got that one guy who can really pull your numbers, it's really helpful to have that and keep the game growing.
I would agree with that. So kind of talking a little bit about our stream here. As we said already, we have hit affiliate status. We're really excited about that. And now it gets to the point where we are really going to work on kind of smoothing out all the bumps and rough rides that we've got going on in the stream. We're gonna probably redo our overlay. We're gonna add in a little more different animations. We're gonna obviously add our emotes and things like that, so that when you guys subscribe, you'll actually be able to utilize some of our emotes. So what we would like from all of you people in the chat, listeners on iTunes, Google Play, Tuner, Stitch In, our YouTube video accompaniment people, let us know exactly how you feel, what emotes you want to see, what changes you want to see to the stream, what changes you want to see to the podcast, and we'll kind of take those into account, because on these weeks where we have no updates and we don't have any new content to kind of push your way, we don't want it always to just kind of be a big old salt shaker from Himalayan pink salt either.
We want that rock salt, really thick brick of salt. That's us today.
What we want to do is give you a nice roux.
Yeah.
Pour over that gravy at the end of the night and just be like, here it is. Here's this polished product. So let us know what you guys are thinking. Thanks, Al. We are affiliated now. It's cool.
Yeah. All thanks to you guys.
Yeah, you guys hang out here all the time. Our viewers and listeners on iTunes and Google Play and all those guys, you guys have been rock stars. Especially our Xbox population. You guys have been on point with your feedback, and it prompted Dan to buy an Xbox, and it's really exciting. So just hang around with us. I think we're going to do some really cool things. Thank you to Steve, Wrigglemania. You've been a huge help to us. Everybody should check out Wrigglemania. He will grace your ears with his sweet Kiwi voice every single weekday from 10 a.m. until he decides to get off, really. So all you people listening that don't watch his stream, Wrigglemania, check him out. He has an interactive playthrough of essentially Bethesda games is the gist of it. Right now he's going through Skyrim. He's got a really cool situation going on, so everybody should check him out.
Absolutely. Huge thank you, and huge ups to that guy. He's crushing it. Major inspiration for us. Do you want to talk a little bit about Xbox? I could jump into that. We do have some time. Or do you want to save that for next?
Let's save that for next episode, and we'll hop right into our live stream from here.
Sure, that sounds great. So this was a short episode. We didn't have a lot to really talk about. It was kind of a bummer. Like, we did have a lot of salt and not a lot of updates. So hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more content for you guys. We've been talking about doing regular segments, doing things like strategy and gameplay tips, highlighting certain areas of the map we want to talk about. We really want your feedback. We want to shape this in such a way that you guys get what you want out of it when you're listening to us. I think that's an awesome thing that we have here. We have a great community already, and we're building it more and more every day. So if you guys want to be a part of it, please follow our Twitter, join our Discord. The links are in the description of all of our videos and audio podcasts. And we want to hear from you. We don't care if you're on Xbox. We don't care if you're PC only. We don't even care if you do both, like me. It's weird, but it's so hard to go to Xbox from playing PC. But if you do that, more power to you. You guys are awesome, and let's keep this growing. Let's keep growing and building something together.
So until 25 seconds from now, we will see you in game, everyone.